Parlerifsi, uvlulotak, uvanganeyak, utkarvig murunga, ukaranaktunga unipkat, about Kivgiq. I wanted to tell a story about how Kivgiq began, and I learned about this story from Martha Niayuq Stackhouse from Kivgiq. So the story goes, there was a mother and a father, and they lived during a time when there was a family here, there was a family maybe way over there. A lot of times you didn't know how close or how far somebody was, but this family, they had lived alone, a mother and a father, and they had a son. As the boy began to grow, the father would take him out hunting and teach him the ways out on the land. And before you knew it, the boy was old enough to go out hunting by himself. One day, the boy had gone out and he never returned. The mother and father were very sad about the loss of their son. They don't know what happened to him. They don't know where he had gone. And they ended up having another boy. They were a little bit more strict with this son. They would, teach him how to hunt, but they would be together. And he couldn't go out too far. Took off one day and he didn't return. Of course, the mother and father were very, very sad about the loss of their second son, and they didn't know what happened to him. They, went on with their days, and they ended up getting pregnant, and they gave birth to a third son. And they were even more strict. They would teach the boy to go out hunting, learn the ways of the land. As the boy got older, the parents were still very strict. They would bring him out hunting. The father would take him out on the land. They would come back home, and the mother would make sure that the father wouldn't let the boy go out too far. And the boy was getting older, and he had asked his parents, "I'm ready to go out hunting by myself. Can I please go out hunting?" And the mother and the father told him no, that he can't go out hunting because they were so scared that they would lose their third son. The boy, he would keep asking day in and day out, "Mother, father, I'm ready to go out hunting. Can I please go out by myself?" And they would always say no. The father would say, "I will come, hunting with you." As the days went on, the boy would continue to ask, "Can I go out hunting, please?" And they finally said, "Okay, as long as you come home, you are able to go out hunting by yourself." He was really excited. He was finally able to go out hunting by himself. He went a little ways from his home, and he was out looking for what animals he could see out on the land. And in the distance, he looks and he sees a big creature flying. It was flying, coming closer and fast towards him. He got his bow and arrow ready. He put it behind him. And this being, it landed on the ground, on the Nuna, the tundra, in front of him. This creature, it stood on 2 feet. It lifted its hood. It was an eagle man, and he turned into a man. In a lot of our stories, we talk about how these animals, they can take their hoods off and they become human. They put their hoods back on and become an animal again. And so this creature, it was a huge eagle. And when he took his hood off, he became a man. This eagle man was looking at the boy and asked him, "Boy, I need you to follow me. To Eagle Mother, will you follow me? And if you say no, I will kill you just how I killed your 2 brothers." This boy was, obviously scared. He didn't know. He knew he couldn't die because that would just make his parents even more sad if they lost their third son. And so he said, "Eagle Man, I will follow you to your Eagle Mother as long as you allow me to come back to my home, to my family, to my mom and my dad." And this eagle man told him that his eagle mother has something that she needs to teach him, that she wants to teach him, and that he must follow him. And he agreed. and he said, "Get on my back, we're going to fly to the mountains to my eagle mother." And so he put his hood back on and he became an eagle again. And the boy climbed on his back and they took off to the mountains. The boy looked back and he looked at his home in the distance. His parents couldn't see him, but he knew that he was going to return home. He just didn't know when. So they fly and they're flying through the air and they finally reach the mountains and they come across this very old eagle mother. She's very old, she's frail, she can hardly walk. Her voice is, very quiet. The eagle man introduces the boy to his mother and she's really excited and she tells the boy, "I have so much to teach you. I'm going to teach you how to drum. I'm going to teach you how to sing and dance and build a huge kajri, a huge community house." He was like, "What is drumming? What is singing? What is dancing?" The eagle mother, along with the eagle man, was teaching the boy how to sing and how to dance, how to build and construct drums, the round drums and also the box drums that you see. That took multiple years to learn, and he also learned how to build a huge kajri that could fit a lot of people. And the eagle mother told him, once he learns how to build and once he creates everything, builds the drums, teaches his parents how to sing and dance, people are going to come 2 by 2. And he was just like, "Okay, I will do this. I will learn everything that you are teaching me, and I will teach my parents, my mom and my dad." It took years. He learned everything. And when Eagle Mother knew he was ready to go home, she said, "Okay, you're ready to go. Go and teach your family." And he was so excited to go back home. The Eagle Man, he said, "Okay, get on my back and we will go back to your family." So the eagle carries the man on his back and they fly all the way down the mountains. And they reach near his home. They don't go to his home, but they go near his home. As the boy gets dropped off, they hug. They became really good friends. They say their goodbyes, and the eagle man puts his hood back on and takes off back to the mountains. He leaves. And the boy turns around and he runs as fast as he can all the way back to his parents' house. He goes in and his parents were shocked that he was alive because it has been years since they have seen him. And, they hug and they are, that they're finally back together. They're so happy. They're shedding tears. And he is so excited to tell them, "Mom and Dad, I need to teach you how to make drums. I need to teach you how to sing and dance and build a huge kajli, a huge community house, because people are going to come and we're going to teach them how to dance and sing." And they were just as confused as he was. They're like, "What is that? What is that? What is singing? What is dancing?" And he told them. And they were so excited. They were just taking it all in. And they said, "Okay." He told them that the dad needs to start building the drums with him. And the mother has to sew mukluks, parkas, because it's going to be a time where we give gifts to others. And so the mother is preparing. The father and the son, they're going out hunting and they're getting a lot of food and they're storing the food away. And it takes them a couple of years to get everything ready. And once they built the kajli and once they had a lot of food stored away, ready for the people who were said to come, pretty soon they saw in the distance, there was, just like the eagle mother said, there was people coming 2 by 2, just like the eagle mother said. There was these things like coming from the distance. You can see 2 things coming, and they were walking to the kajri, the community house, and they weren't humans. So he was kind of confused. And there was 2 Kivgiq, which are 2 wolverines. They came, they walked up right up to the kajri. They stood up on 2 legs and they pulled their hoods off and they became human. and they were wearing beautiful Kivgiq clothing, from their parkas to their pants to their mukluks, all Kivgiq. They entered the community house. And then again in the distance, 2 by 2, came 2 wolves, Amahok. And these, as they reached the community house, again, they stood on 2 legs and they took off their hoods and they became human. And they were wearing the most beautiful wolf clothing, parkas, pants, kamiks. And again in the distance came 2 polar bears. And these polar bears, they reached the community house, they stood up on 2 legs and lifted their hoods. And they became human with the most beautiful Niayuq clothing, parkas, pants, kamiks. With all of the other Arctic animals, they came again 2 by 2, 2 caribou, 2 sigiriks, ground squirrels, all of the different animals that you can think of, they came 2 by 2. And whatever animals they were, once they lifted their hoods, they wore the most beautiful fur of whatever animal they were. And they all entered the community house, and the mom, the dad, and the boy were so excited. And they were teaching them all that they knew about dancing and singing and drumming. They gave gifts. They were feasting. And it was such an exciting time, and this lasted for days of just celebrating. Once the celebration was over, 2 by 2, the people left. The 2 people in Amahok wolf clothing, they exited the Kivgiq, and as soon as they left, they put their hoods back on, and they became 2 wolves again, and they just took off running. The 2 wolverines, as soon as they exited, they put their hoods on, and they became wolverines again, and they took off. The caribou took off, the polar bears, the sigiriks, the ovingoks, everything took off 2 by 2. As the day went on, the mom and dad were very, very proud of their son, and especially so happy that he was home. The next day, he went out on the land, and he was, going to go hunting. And out in the distance, he sees the big eagle, his eagle man friend, coming. And he knew it was him, so he was so excited, and he was just waiting. And so the eagle man landed right next to him, took off his hood, and he became a man. And he said, "Boy, I would like to bring you to my mother. She is so proud of you for teaching the people how to drum and how to sing and dance." He said, "Okay, I'd love to go see Eagle Mother. Please take me." And so he put his hood back on. The boy got on his back, and they took off flying to the mountains. And as soon as they got to the mountains, he sees a very young woman. And it was Eagle Mother. She was no longer old. She was young. She had long black hair. Her voice was strong. She was strong. She can walk. She can run. She was no longer old. And he asked her, "Eagle Mother, what happened? You are young." And she said, "Boy, the beat of the drum is my heartbeat. And as you taught those people how to drum and sing, you made me young again." And because they revived the beat of the drum, the singing and the dancing, she became young again. She told him that she was so very proud of him. That is how Kivgiq came to be. That's the story that I learned from Martha Ikeyok's Stack House. When us women, when we're dancing, we are dancing very gracefully. Our arms are like this. And the way we dance is like Eagle Mother. We are dancing the way an eagle is, which is graceful. And when we're dancing, and this is what I learned from Fanny Kutuok Akbik, when we're dancing, we're not looking up and around. We are looking down, just like how an eagle, when they're flying, they don't look up, they look down. And that is why women are graceful and looking down when we're dancing. And that's why our motions are like this. when you look at the box drums, the Kivgiq, for when they perform that special dance, the Kivgiq, they use a box drum. And when you look at the box drums, it's a box, and at the top there's jagged edges. And those jagged edges, from what I learned, are the mountains in which Eagle Mother lives. And that is why they're designed that way. Another thing that I learned was when we're dancing, both men and women, we wear gloves or we're wearing mittens. Our hands are covered. And there's a reason for that. It's not just for Galia. And I learned this from Bani Kivgiq, and she said, you know, when you're dancing, when you hear the beat of the drum, it just makes you so happy. It makes you want to dance when you hear our drums. And so when we're dancing, that happy feeling can escape through our fingertips. And in order to make sure it doesn't escape our body, we have to cover our hands with gloves or mittens so that that happy feeling can stay in our body. And so that is why you see women and men wear gloves or mittens when we are dancing. So just wanted to share the story and some of the things that I've learned. Niayuq.